How you doing? Let's talk pickleball courts. Let's talk pickleball facilities. Let's just talk pickleball. Now, whether you're a full-time pickleball player or somebody who is trying to get maybe into the commercial side of pickleball, because that is booming right now, there are some things that you should keep in mind. And I should probably be making this video in a much better setting than my truck right now. But I'm actually coming from a meeting for a large indoor facility that we're going to be building. And, you know, I got some things in my head, and I got to get them out. So, you know, don't just look at me sitting in my truck and dismiss the knowledge I am about to spit on you, okay? Hopefully the rain will hold off long enough for us to have this conversation. So, if you're going to be delving into starting a pickleball club, a pickleball facility, indoors and outdoors, there are things that you need to really think about and take into consideration. And I'm going to give you some advice that will hopefully protect you. And this is just based on experience that I have had in my years and years of being in this business, and different scenarios that I have gone through with different owners who are trying to build these indoor clubs. Okay, where do we want to start? First, pick the right space. You want to pick the right space. High ceilings, if possible. You want over 20-foot ceilings, at least. Now, will a lower ceiling work? It could, if your joists are spread right. But the number one complaint you're going to get if you have low ceilings is, that club has low ceilings. So try to find a place that has, you know, the right size ceilings. Second thing you want to look at is, what's the condition of the floor? What is this space that I am now moving into? What was it before? Was it a machine shop? Is there cutting oil all over the floor? Was it, you know, a toilet? I'm trying to think of something that's like very soft and non-invasive. Was it a storage facility for toilet paper or down feathered pillows? Like, then, you know, you're not going to have as much prep and getting shit ready as you would for the if you were using a space that had machinery in it or something like that. Okay. One thing you got to be careful about when you're getting into real estate transactions with people, especially if you're renting it, is you have to be careful, because sometimes in the lease it will say that the tenant is responsible for returning the surface to returning the building, not just the surface, returning the building to its original state, what it was like before you moved in. Now, some are built to suit. You can build it however you need to suit your business needs. Now, most places aren't really going to complain so much about the flooring itself. Like, if you go in and paint pickleball surfaces on the floor, because any other company that comes in there is most likely just going to put another floor over your coating, if that makes sense, you know. So, and if not, and you're responsible for removing the old surface, and you don't have like something like a cushion system, then, you know, you can shot blast it off and get out of it for fairly cheap money. So you got to be careful for stuff like that. This will impact you when you go to put down. This will impact you when you go to do nets. What are you going to do for nets? Are you going to use rollaway nets? Are you going to do semi-permanent nets? What are you going to do for a fence? Are you going to put a fence up? Are you going to core drill into the concrete, or are you just going to use surface-mounted plates? Well, if you have a clause in your lease that says that you have to, you know, put the building back to what it was when you moved in, then you're going to be screwed when you have 52-inch holes in the ground that you have to now fill. So, yeah. So, flooring is a big issue. Another thing you have to protect yourself against is the person you're renting the space from. You know, they're going to be very eager to let you rent the space for a pickleball facility, but if the floor is junk, he's going to know that. You know, these real estate guys, they're savvy. All right? So, and I've talked, and this isn't speculation, folks. All right? This is years and years of experience. Guy owns a building. Building's an old warehouse, run down. You come in and you go, hey, I want to put a pickleball facility here. And the guy goes, I don't care what you put in here. You're renting the space, it's your space. Yeah, but I want you to fix the floor. Most of the time, it's going to start out okay, because they don't know what it's going to take to get that floor ready. They have no idea. So in the beginning, they might go, yeah, sure, I can help you get the floor ready. I'm not going to paint the floor to look like a pickleball court. No. That's not what we're asking. We're just asking you to give us a surface that's good enough for us to paint. Oh, okay. You know, but I just left a meeting where you walk in this place and because of the lights, it looks normal. Okay? One of the guys was leaving the other day and he had his truck parked outside, the lights were off, and the headlights are coming through the door. And now we're looking at it like this. Well, I swear to God, I'm going to try to get this video from this guy and splice it into this to this video that I'm making. This floor the video looked like it was taken with the Mars rover. I swear to God. It looked like, I was like, the first thing I said, I go, am I looking at pictures of the moon? Is this the moon? I thought it was the moon. And the floor was so fucked up. And the guy's like, I'm like, wow, you really can't see that, you know? So, it's crazy. It was crazy. And I was like, wow, you really can't see that. So, you know, he has to go back with the person that he rented that space from, and now they have to try to, like, get the floor within a manageable area for me to do what I have to do. And that's going to be expensive. Another issue that you got to be careful of if you're looking for a space is, let's say you find a space and that space has a decent floor, or it doesn't have a decent floor, it just has a concrete floor that you're going to try to work with. This latex coating is very susceptible to hydrostatic pressure. All right? Concrete is for as hard as it is, right? And you got the Hoover Dam, and you got all this shit made out of concrete. All concrete holds so much stuff back. But at the same time, concrete also breathes, and it releases vapor. Hydrostatic pressure will come up from the bottom. If you've ever seen a concrete floor that has been cold or it's been chilly, and then the concrete traps all of that temperature, and now we get a warmer than usual day. We get a warmer than usual day, and maybe a little bit the dew point's up, that floor starts to sweat. That's a huge problem for surface coatings. Okay? Next thing you know, you got blisters, you got bubbles, and it's bad. So we do something called a moisture wick testing, where they drill these holes in the floor and they install these things, and They let them sit there for a few days, and then when they come and pull them out, it will give you an idea percentage-wise of how moist the concrete is. And what it's essentially doing is measuring the hydrostatic pressure. It's measuring the vapor that is coming through the concrete. If you're getting moisture wick testing of 99%, then that means you got some wet concrete. Now, it's not up to me to say who's responsible for putting down that coating. What does it entail? The only thing that there are so many nuances to building good courts that I am trying to give you things to outsmart the person that you're going to be renting that space off of. Because at the time, that person is not going to know what you're going to have to go through to get that court ready for a surface coating. They're just not. So if you're entering in a lease, you want them to agree to, I need the court 100% ready for paint. And they you know what they're going to think? Oh, okay, no problem. So I'll clean it. I'll get it clean for you. And then I'll get it clean. And then if I got to grind some spots down or fill in some low spots, yep, I can do that too. But once the moisture testing starts, okay, thank you for doing all that, sir. My guy will be here next week to do a moisture test. Whoa, moisture test, what's that? And then you find out that you got a 20,000 square foot facility that needs a moisture mitigator put down, which is like a 2-part epoxy. It kind of looks like polyurethane. It goes down over the top of the concrete. It's put down with a squeegee, and then you back roll it, and then you cast sand into it, and that prevents the moisture from coming up through the coating. It works phenomenal, but it's very, very expensive. And depending on, distance travel, blah, 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 at minimum, you're going to be paying 75 cents to $1 a foot to have this stuff put down, a square foot. So, it could be another $20,000 on top of what you're already going to be paying to have somebody like me come and put the courts in. So if this guy finds out after the fact, which I have seen happen in a ton of cases, he ain't spending that money. He's not giving you the money to do that. That's coming out of your pocket, and you don't have anything. You don't have any leg to stand on at that point. You can't push back. You can't nothing. You just can't. So you got half the building done, and now you're finding this out. You have no choice but to spend the money. And that's fucked. Sorry, that's bad. So you got to protect yourself like that. Now, other than the obvious things, location, right? You want a good location. You want where people is going to find you, see you. You want to have a good area where people can congregate. People can wait to play. Don't just find a space that you can fit 4 courts in. Let's say you find a warehouse and it'll fit 4 courts perfectly. Well, that's great. But what happens when people aren't playing? People want to hang out. They want to watch other people play. They want to have a couple beers or maybe some food. So don't just think little, think big, because people are going to come. People are going to show up, and they're gonna need space. So that's pretty much all I have right now. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And listen, I do consulting. If you want to hire us to not only do your pickleball facility, we go all over the country. So if you're watching this right now from, Portland, Oregon to Portland, Oregon to the East Coast. It will come. If you pay, we will come. But we can also just help you with the planning, making sure, you know, things go the way they're supposed to go, help you find the right contractor, make sure all the parties involved know what the heck they're doing, and we can protect you. We will be your advocates. And we do that. We can do that from the phone. We don't have to come out there. I mean, sometimes it requires a trip or two to see the facility, meet the players, but then the rest of that can be done over the phone, you know, and we can help protect your investment, so to say. But yeah, you can hire us for consulting and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm sorry again. This isn't the setting to be giving advice like this in my truck, you know. But at the same time, I got the stuff. It's there, and I got to get it out because I just left a meeting and I wasn't very happy with, you know, how my customers were treated by the landlord. So it made me want to try to protect other people from kind of getting into the same situation. So that's all I got for you guys. Have a good day.